Dude, remember that real horn dog of a dwarf that was kicking about?
Oh,
and then he left and went to go hang out with his other brothers.
Yeah, what was his name?
I think it might have been Horny.
That makes sense.
He had a brother Bashful and Sleep. And I wonder what they're doing now.
There's those other 7 dwarfs, and they were hanging out with that chick that was just sleeping all the time.
That really beautiful sleeping chick.
Yeah.
What was her name?
Sleeping Beauty. Yeah. I think it was Janice or something like that.
Yeah, it's a bit scary having that horn dog around that Sleeping Beauty.
Yeah, well, I heard some things. They had to keep him away from.
They might have even kicked him out.
Yeah.
Welcome back to the Wizard's Tower.
The Wizard's Tower!
If you guys hear any noise, that's Frank playing with a toy. For the last 20 minutes, we've cut it out, but he's been tormenting us with dog toys.
Yeah, so we're just going to run it. And if you can hear a squeaking in the background, that isn't a mouse. That is Frank destroying his pet giraffe.
So I went to this event this morning.
Yep.
It was like a YouTube networking event. The first one they've done in Melbourne. And I was thinking to myself, oh my God. I'm gonna meet some mega stars.
Yeah.
And then I started thinking of who is an Australian YouTuber that's a mega star.
And who also lives in Melbourne. Because a lot of people
Nobody.
in Sydney. Yeah,
nobody. There's a few people and I've already met them.
Laserbeam wouldn't have been there.
No.
I'll name who I think wasn't there.
Okay.
Laserbeam wasn't there.
Yeah, you're correct.
Cold Ones with Max and Chad there.
Yeah, no.
They weren't there. Georgia Productions, no.
No, she lives in Sydney.
She lives in Sydney. There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, God. I don't even know.
There was no one. But all I got in the email was meet at this building in the city at 9:00 a.m.
Right.
And so I catch the bus in or the train in.
Yeah.
I get to this place where it's supposed to be, and it's just a ginormous office building. And I'm like, oh, legendary.
Awesome.
No instructions, no little sign being like,
Yeah.
the YouTuber meetup, whatever.
Damn, right. I expect a bit more something from YouTube.
You would think there would be at least a sign.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what the fuck? So I'm going in there. I don't know. I don't know anyone there. I don't even know where I'm supposed to go. And I end up running into the guys from Misfit Minds.
Oh, yeah.
Another
lads.
YouTube channel. They do like pranks and stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Funny
oh, thank God.
Pranksters.
Because I've been to their house before, just once, just as a little one-off, just randomly. The Reese brothers were in town. They're like, oh, meet us at this house. And it turned out to be theirs.
Yeah.
So they didn't even remember me.
True.
I was like, hey, what's going on, guys? Could see the instant blanking on their face. One was, oh, hey, bro. And I was like,
all that.
I was like,
who are you again?
Yeah, I was like, yeah, I've been to your house. And they were like, what? And I was like, that sounds really creepy. We know each other, guys. Like I've been to your house.
Mates.
And then they were like, oh, that's Jackson. What's going on, dude? Yeah, I remember you. I was like, oh, thank God. And they were like, cool. Where do we go? I was like,
True.
I have no idea.
Okay, that's good that they all lost as well.
Yeah. So we talked to this guy at a desk.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh yeah, Google, they're on this floor here. I can't say the floor.
Yeah.
Or the building.
But you can probably say the floor.
No, I can't.
You can't say the floor
just
of
in
a
case.
random
Just
building.
in case.
So
Yeah.
if you said like floor 89, someone's going to be like...
Well, Meta, when I went to the Meta office in Sydney, they were like, we don't have and same with Google, they don't have Meta listed on the floor because when stuff happens, like people will riot outside, protest and shit. And it's like actually a danger to the employees.
Okay, that's fair.
So I'm like, Google's not as bad as Meta.
It's like Harry Potter, like he just opens up between two other buildings.
Ooh, you're going to have to go down to platform 9 3/4. Yeah. The Google office opens up.
Yeah, like Moody opens up the two apartments for the
Portal
Order of
shut.
Phoenix.
So they're like, yeah, Google's on like this level. I'm like, okay. Like we go up the level, we find the Google office.
Yeah.
Someone scans their code to get into this locked door. we also go in, and I was like, I don't know if we should be just fucking walking in, guys.
Yeah.
And there's a bunch of Google employees there, and we're like, we're here for the YouTube meeting. And they're like, that's not here. That's downstairs where you guys were in the lobby. And we're like, oh, okay. They're like, yeah, well, that's all good. And they like let us out and sort of like guided us to it.
It was like a Misfits fucking prank.
Yeah, I was like, dude, we just broke into Google by accident.
They should have been just instant cameras out.
Their security was so lax.
Yeah, that's.
They just kind of like they were like, oh, they're like, hold the door for us. Like, you want to come in? We're like, sure.
You guys probably look like Google employees. You know?
Yeah, and then I ripped my vest off and I had a bomb. And I was like, ah!
Google Chrome uses too much RAM.
Take that! Yeah. Up my AdSense. Yeah, so we found the place. We go downstairs and we start mingling. And by mingling, I mean we just sit down on a couch and like the 3-4 of us just start talking on the couch. No networking was done that day. I met my YouTube manager because I have like just someone I can email to be like, hey,
YouTube,
why did this get demonetized? They can't tell me. That's about the extent of it. But we met the YouTube CEO of Australia.
Australia.
Maybe, okay, maybe not the YouTube CEO. Yeah. We met the YouTube Australian CEO, director guy, the head of YouTube Australia. His name is... you
can't remember his name? Jeez,
I think it was Eric.
I'll look it up.
His name was Eric, I think.
Yeah.
Super nice guy. Super nice guy. He was chatting to us for ages about just like what he does basically at YouTube and YouTube's like main goals at the moment and what they're kind of trying to do, which was very interesting. And then at the end of it, when we were leaving, the Misfit Minds guys were like, should we give him the keychain? And I was like, what's the keychain? And they pulled out this keychain and it's a Bunnings Warehouse keychain, except it says like Misfit Minds. And then you flip it around on the back of it. It's like it says a cock measuring stick or whatever. It's a keychain. It's got a little tape measure on the side. And because they had this video where they dressed up as Bunnings workers and they were like telling a customer like, yeah, you know, like a couple of the boys out the back have been using the tape measures to, you know, and that became a thing on their channel. So they got these keychains and they gave one to the YouTube guy. Yeah.
That is so fucking
like, yeah, anyway, nice to meet you. We're heading off. Anyway, here's this keychain. And he just looks at it and he sees just the Misfits bit on the front. He's like, oh, that's nice. Thank you guys so much. Thanks. And then he flips it round and reads that. And he's just like, oh, yeah. Like, oh, cool. Thanks, guys.
And he accepts it.
Yeah. And then the Misfit Minds guys, they're like, yeah, so it's from this video. And they start explaining the video.
The most fucked video.
And it's against the YouTube's terms of service to dress up as a employee of somewhere else.
Right.
And they're explaining this video to the YouTube CEO guy. And he's like, oh, yeah, right. Yeah. And like, yeah. So we basically halfway through, they realized
what
they shouldn't have been explaining that. And like, yeah, anyway, it's just like a little thing on our channel. And then we walked off and they were like,
what the fuck did we
can't
just
believe
do?
that happened. To the YouTube CEO explaining that.
Funny.
And then we went outside and they were like 8 police officers just waiting outside the building. We're like, oh my God, they're going in to arrest Eric. They're going to bust him. They're going to bust him for embezzlement. I wouldn't be surprised. We see just on TV. There were like 8 of them and they all went into the office. We're like, what the hell are they busting people for?
Damn.
Embezzlement.
There's something going down.
Assault or something
when you
like
see
that.
8 police officers, like, that's big shit.
That's big news. Big news.
Damn.
Yeah. So that was my morning.
That's crazy.
What did you do today?
I slept in.
Must be nice. Honestly, I feel like such a piece of shit now because I saw on the meeting that it was at 9 a.m. in the city and I was like, oh, that means I'm going to have to get up at like 7. And I was like, fuck. I used to get up at 5 a.m. for work.
Yeah.
But I was like, this is why I don't do that anymore. Yeah. So I don't have to wake up at 7.
7 a.m. is pretty rough. That's what I have to do. I get up at 6 for work, but like, fuck, 7. 7 when you don't wake up at 7. Any time when you don't, it's shit ass. Yeah. I got out of bed at like 10, I think, today. So I was like, fuck it. I'm sleeping.
It wasn't too bad because I usually get up at 8, but I was like, yeah, I was upset having to catch the train. But you're glad you went though? Yeah, it was good. It was good catching up with those guys. They dropped me back off, which was nice.
Reintroducing yourself.
Reintroducing. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it was good. You know, they're super nice guys and we got like we just talked a lot of YouTube stuff, and I don't really ever talk about YouTube with anyone, so other than you. So it was good chatting to other YouTubers.
Yeah, that is cool. Get an idea of what they do, what works for them.
Yeah, one of them was like, "Why didn't you mention your YouTube channel? Like, you didn't say anything about it." And I was like, "Oh, I don't know." Like at the last time we met, they're like, "Yeah, you're so like you didn't say anything," and I was like, "It's weird."
You are like that.
I don't like explaining it to people, especially people that don't do YouTube, because it's a lot of the time it's like, this is how the conversation goes. Yeah. "Oh, you do YouTube?" And you're like, yeah. And they're like, "So you like make money off that, right?"
Yeah, it's always money instantly. And it's hilarious.
You're like, yep. And they're like, "So how's that, so like how much money do you make?"
Yeah, it's like, bro, what the fuck? Oh, you do plumbing? Yeah. So how much money do you make?
How much money do you make? Get Ash on the phone right now. Can we call him up right now?
How much money do you make? He wouldn't tell me. Yeah. So he shouldn't. There is that stigma with YouTube as well, I guess. Just like you're doing something that you enjoy for work. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You can't do that. Especially in Australia, is that tall poppy syndrome. And you don't want to put yourself up to that, like, but then you're with other YouTubers. So I feel like it's okay.
That's fine. But yeah, it's just weird, like bringing it up at all. And I don't know. Everyone always prefaces when they know that you do YouTube, they always start a conversation with, "So are you still doing that YouTube thing?"
That YouTube thing.
That YouTube thing. I'm like,
I get that with editing. People are like, "Oh, so you're still editing? Are you still doing that little edit?
The edit thing? The little edit thing?
They like belittle it.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, it's a fucking job actually.
Yeah. Are you still doing that that little accounting thing you've been doing for 20 years? Like, yeah.
That how's that brain surgery job going? Is it still, how'd you fall into that one? Like, fuck you, bro.
Yeah, but it was good. It was really good. I went to Beetlejuice as well.
Oh yeah. Fuck yeah.
So I went to the Beetlejuice premiere in Melbourne last night. I've been busy. I've left my house twice this week. It's crazy.
I haven't seen you in literally like 24 hours.
Yeah, fucking that's a first. Yeah. That's crazy.
Like fuck.
And so I cast a little spell of teleportation to go down and watch the Beetlejuice movie, and it was really good.
Really?
I won't get into any spoilers. I'll keep it brief. I don't know if people enjoy us talking about movies.
Yeah. It's called Beetlejuice as well.
Yeah.
Do you reckon they'll do a third one and then he has to show up to every single premiere that it goes to? Michael Keaton has to go to every single showing if it says Beetlejuice.
Imagine. I think I don't think they will do a third one. I think this second one.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
The second one was like perfect. It was like the first Beetlejuice, but just more of it and better. Like they built upon all the parts of the first movie where you're like, I want to see more of that. You see a lot more of Beetlejuice doing things.
That's cool.
In the actual movie, he's there for like 20 minutes.
Yeah, he's in it for fuck all.
Yeah. So it's a lot of that, a lot of afterlife stuff.
Yeah.
There's some like heaps of new characters get introduced. But it's all really well paced. There's like 3 or 4 different storylines.
And they bring everyone back from the first one.
Yeah.
Pretty much everyone.
And that's really good. Everyone was really good in it. Good acting. There's some really good characters in it too.
Yeah,
like, I don't want to get into any spoiler territory.
And you really, because you didn't hate the first one, but you didn't rave it. I remember you watched it and you were like, yeah, it's pretty good, but I'm not like in love with it. I'm like, dude, it's a classic. And you're like, I
was like, it's okay.
So you really enjoyed the second one?
I reckon it's better than the first one.
Whoa.
Like for me personally, I think by like a pretty good margin.
Damn.
I was really lucky too because it was in an IMAX theater and because I went by myself because someone bailed out on me.
Yeah, some of us were a bit tired.
Unbelievable. But I ended up lining up really early to get into the cinema and I got perfect seats in the middle of the theater. Same one where we went to see Mad Max.
Yeah.
In the middle of the theater, IMAX screen, basically warping my whole field of vision.
You're in the movie. Yeah.
Oh my God. It was so good. Maybe that was half of it.
It was just so, you couldn't even look away.
I was like, this is
this has to be good because like this is all I can see right now.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So much like practical effects and stuff as well. There's a lot of that
I reckon we're going back to that.
Thank God.
We're going back. Because like if this is done really well and Alien Romulus did really well, a lot of practical effects in both. I hope so.
There's like a good little
balance for sure.
It's like almost nostalgic or like comforting when you see like a prac effect. Even if it doesn't look as good as CG, you're like, oh,
everything
it's nice that they did that
once as well.
Real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like these movies that are doing really well, there's a reason why they're doing well. It's because there's like this grounded like physical, tangible thing to them.
Yeah.
I think Endgame, like after Endgame, it's just gone to shit, like all the CGI and Marvel and stuff. So it's like, it's nice to have this tangible, like, you know what I mean? Like imagine if they did Pirates of the Caribbean now with like Davy Jones and stuff. I reckon he would look worse because he would be CGI, and then everything else around him would be CGI as well.
Yeah.
It's like the boat they're standing on would be, you know what I mean? Like,
and it would be a rush job as well, because they'd be like, hey bro, we got 6 more Pirates of the Caribbeans lined up. We got Phase 2 Pirates of the Caribbean Phase 2 cinematic universe.
I am Jack Sparrow. Clicks his fingers.
Fucking Davy Jones clicks his claw.
His claw.
Rips his claw up. The claw, get the claw. I am Jack Sparrow.
I have got a jar of dirt.
That would be crazy. Yeah, no, it was good. It was really, really good. And just so many funny. Tim Burton's back, baby.
Yeah, fuck
it's
yeah.
good.
That's good.
Very like, you forget that I forgot that Willy Wonka was done by Tim Burton.
Tim Burton. Yeah.
I was watching the movie and I was like, this is like Willy Wonka. And I was like, oh my God, that makes so much sense.
Yeah. Oh my God.
It was good, like all ages humor as well.
I should go through the Tim Burton movies. I've seen the Batman. I don't know what else I've really seen from, like Beetlejuice.
Willy Wonka. There's a lot of things you wouldn't even think Tim Burton that he's
Sweeney
done.
Todd. I've seen. I thought Caroline for a long time was Tim Burton. That's not him.
Coraline.
Coraline.
Oh my God, you did exactly what Coraline herself gets pissed off at.
What's that?
You said Caroline.
Oh, true. Is that happen?
Yeah, she's like, it's Coraline.
Oh, Coraline.
Yeah.
Who the fuck's name's Coraline?
I don't know. There's a fucking character in there called Wyborn.
No, yeah. What's the kid's name? He's got a weird name. Is that him?
Wyborn.
Like
Wyborn, and he's like, yeah, like Wyborn, and you're like, Jesus Christ,
why am I born?
Poor fucking kid.
I didn't rewatch that. That's a good movie.
It's a fantastic movie.
Yeah, I thought Tim Burton did that, but he didn't do that.
No.
What did he do? Nightmare Chris. I haven't seen that.
Nightmare Chris. Yeah.
Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah,
I thought you'd
Nightmare Chris, where
Nightmare Chris.
it's a guy named Chris, and all he does is have nightmares. Yeah.
It's
sick. Nightmare Chris. Shut up.
What the hell?
I can't help it.
He's just so tired.
Yeah, I can't get to sleep. I keep having nightmares.
I'd make a movie about people having nightmares.
Nightmare Chris.
Nightmare Chris is back. Do you reckon Frank has nightmares?
Doesn't have he definitely dreams.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's been so many times where I've heard him like barking in his sleep or like running in his sleep.
Yeah.
And his eyes do that fucking weird thing like in the Matrix where, you know, Trinity's like, Tank, I need a blueprint to fly this chopper. And he's like, I'm on it. And then she goes, and her eyes flicker. Yeah, that is what Frank does. Yeah, I'm like, dude, he's jacked into the Matrix. He's learning Kung Fu.
He's like running on the spot.
Yeah.
The Crystal Ball.
So apparently Elon Musk has put a Neuralink in a second patient.
Oh my God.
I saw this on TikTok. You know that TikTok news guy, News Daddy?
Dylan Page.
I was talking to him about it. I saw him.
You were talking to Dylan.
Yeah, I'm kind of close with that bloke.
Yeah, I call him Dill.
He prefers Dill. I call him News Daddy.
Yeah.
He was talking about they put it into a second patient. I'm pretty sure. Maybe I don't know. But I tried to look it up and I couldn't find it anywhere. But then he was saying that Elon wants to give amputees robot arms, which I'm like, that's a great idea. And then connect that to Neuralink.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's like the perfect marriage of robot AI.
I've heard that's human. Like been his goal from the start is like, you know, connecting people that you can't walk anymore. You can bypass this part of the spine that's broken.
Yeah, it's really exciting. Yeah. I hope it all works. That's like unbelievable, obviously.
That is what when you think of technology, when you're like, oh yes, the future, we're going to, why hasn't this already been a thing? Yeah, that's what you think of when you think of like advanced technology.
Exactly. It's exciting for sure. And then, you know, just off topic, NVIDIA, like they're making so much money because they're like the ones selling the fucking shovel to the gold diggers. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're the ones selling the graphics cards to the people
AI
that need.
Companies
and
they're like almost as big as, I think they're the biggest company, or like heading into being the biggest company ever. Yeah. Which is exciting for NVIDIA.
Well, I've heard their productivity is right down because majority of their like legacy workers that have been there for like 10, 20 years have so much stock in NVIDIA. They're like all millionaires now. Yeah. And it's up to the new staff that they've hired that don't have any stock to push the company forward because they're all just like, well, I can just coast. Yeah. Like,
see you later.
I'm set.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Your legacy staff, you should just retire. I would. Fuck it.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so NVIDIA's making money. But the funny thing, or the sad thing, it's kind of funny, but it's also sad, is that people might hack people's Neuralinks and then control their body parts. That's the potential.
Who would do that?
That's what I mean. I'm like, these people have already lost so much, and then they gain an arm, and then you hack it, and they can't even use their own arm.
Sick sick bastard is going to hack some dude's Neuralink arm. He's just in a cafe and he's like, I can't stop it. No.
Hacking him to jack him.
Yeah, hack him and jack him. That's what they call, how like hackers always have funny names for things like
this is Wormite 2.0
or whatever. This is hack him and jack him.
Hack him off to jack him off. Oh my God.
Yeah,
they would too. I wonder if like, is that going to be like because the Olympics just happened, is that going to be a separate part in the Olympics with people with robot arms?
Oh my God.
Can you
imagine eventually?
It's like that would be past. That would be more, I'd be more keen to watch that than the normal Olympics or the
Super
Paralympics.
Paralympics. Yeah.
That'd be sick.
Can you imagine? Just there's like, shot put is just a guy with a cannon for an arm. Like, what? This is less about the athletes and more about the
He's got
tech.
his iPhone out. Oh, he doesn't even need it, but he's just like pressing buttons on his phone.
He's actually just playing Flappy Bird while he's doing that.
Just winning golds with the other.
Yeah. Sorry, but I'm just scrolling through Instagram right now. Oh, I'm competing.
Shit. Oh, what the hell?
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. 10 million miles. Or actually come back around.
Yeah. Oh, like Superman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Puts a hole through the moon. I don't think they will be able to compete in the Paralympics if you have a robot arm or leg or.
I think they're going to be really shit for like the next 20 years at least. A
You
robot
reckon?
arm. Have you seen them? They're like this.
Yeah, but connected to Neuralink though. Like, you know what I mean?
I don't think it'd still have the dexterity of a regular hand.
Yeah.
You know?
But is that the robot's hand or is that your brain?
I think it's the robot, like
You know what I
controlling
mean?
every individual part of a hand. You're moving like 50 things at once.
The bloke with the Neuralink in his head, the first guy, was on Joe Rogan and he was saying he would like think of something. You know how we think to move a hand, but we don't even think it and it just does it.
Yeah.
He said he would do that with the computer. And sometimes it's like he's not even thinking it. It will just do what he wants it to do before he even thinks it, he reckons, because it's happening so quick.
Damn.
You know what I mean? Like you think to move your arm, but you don't,
just does,
you don't,
yeah.
it just does it. So that's what he was
Maybe.
like with the computer, he said. Like when he was playing chess or whatever, or he's playing whatever.
Yeah.
Like COD, he's been playing COD and he said like, or Fortnite or whatever. And he said like he would think to do something. His reaction time is so fast.
Damn.
Because he's, you know what I mean?
Like wall hacks.
So I feel
aim
like
hacks.
eventually, I guess maybe the hardware's just got to catch up to the software.
I think that's what I mean. Like right now they're like, I don't know, they're pretty slow.
They're pretty slow. But that'd be pretty sick though. Like it would just be like having a normal hand, but it's obviously robotic.
Oh, dude, it'd be huge.
It'd be
I would
great.
almost want to cut off my own hand to get a robot hand.
I didn't want to say it, but I would definitely do
Yeah.
that. I would have an accident.
Can you imagine a wizard with a robot hand?
Cyberpunk wizard.
The things I could do.
Damn.
I mean, I could do everything a regular hand has.
Yeah. Would
I
you lose a
could-
bit of magic? That might be your metachlorians in there that you would lose.
Maybe.
Didn't that happen to Darth? He lost his arm and leg. He lost some power.
Oh, really?
I think so. Because
He
his
lost some
but he's
metachlorians in his
still
arms and
fucked.
legs.
Yeah, but he
Darth
was
Vader.
still busted.
Darth
though.
Vader, by the way, listeners.
Yeah.
Mitch refers to him as Darth
I
because
call him
apparently they're
Darth.
on a first name basis. Mr. Vader,
I
just
called
call
him
me
Anakin
Darth.
once. That didn't go down well. But yeah, I'm pretty sure he lost some power. That might be bullshit.
I think the whole lore on that is Darth Sidious put him in outdated tech on purpose to limit his power.
Limit his power. I think
And
his
keep him in
force
pain
power is
all the
still
time.
strong.
Yeah.
But his lightsaber skills, because he can't like lift his arms past his shoulders.
Yeah.
So you watch him fight, he's like
I
swinging
love
low.
that was all because the suit was so clunky.
Yeah,
And that was
Then
the
now
only
it's
way
lore,
he could fight. And then they turned that into lore. Like, what's that alien in Star Wars that has like a whole fucking history to it? Like Bingus Dingus or something
I
like
can't
that?
remember. You know what they call alien jazz in Star Wars?
Tell me.
Jizz. They call it jizz.
As if George Lucas was like, oh, it's jizz.
It's jizz, yeah.
And didn't think
No.
about that at all.
Isn't that hilarious? Are you talking about McClunky? You know, they were saying like McClunky and then he shoots first. Is that what you're talking about? They like turned that into lore in Mandalorian. McClunky. It was like, I can't remember what the actual word was, but Greedo, everyone's like, Greedo, who shot first, Han or Greedo? And the original Han just kills him because he says McClunky. He's like, McClunky, and then Han just kills him.
McClunky.
And then they found out that, and then they gave what McClunky means in The Mandalorian, like in subtitles. And it was like, fuck you or some shit. It was like, eat shit or
That's so
human
fucking
scum or
funny.
something. I can't remember.
Oh my God.
McClunky, or like, don't shoot or something. I don't know. Han, please don't shoot. McClunky.
Uncommon comedy.
Customer coming to work the other day.
As they do.
As they do.
I've
believe
heard
it or
they
not.
do.
Believe it or not, there's a few about.
Thank God.
This bloke was a German older gentleman. I believe he was German. His accent sounded German.
Yep.
But for my story's sake, he was German.
Okay.
Because I couldn't really tell where he was from. He comes up to me and goes, "Do you speak English?" And I said, "Oh, yeah, I speak Australian, so I don't know. Is that classified as English? I'm not really sure. Some would say it's broken English just as much as German, German's broken.
Learning every day.
Yeah, exactly. And he goes, "Yeah, good. Well, I got pulled over by the cops the other day." And I was like, "Oh, really?" I'm like, "What for?" And he goes, "Oh, just, breath test." I was like, "Oh, yeah."
Yeah.
And the cop goes, one down my window, and the cop said, "How are you going?" And I looked at him and I said, "By car." And I started laughing. I'm like, that's fucking hilarious. Like, that's great. That's great.
That's a good bit.
And then this German bloke looks at me and he's a bit confused. And he's like, "Why are you laughing?" And I was like, "Because, he asked you how you're going and you said by car." And he's like, "I don't understand." I'm like, "Oh, okay." So first of all, he doesn't understand how you going means.
Yeah.
So I had to explain, how you're going is like, how's your day going? Like how you, like g'day sort of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He was like, "Oh, it has two meanings." I'm like, "Yeah." And then I'm like, so he asked you how you're going, and he meant, his expected answer is, "Oh, good. How are you going?" But you said by car. And then so I'm sitting there explaining this joke back to the guy that made the joke.
Yeah.
And I thought it was really funny. I'm having a laugh. And he goes, "Oh," and then he goes, "That's probably why the cop was so angry at me." So the cop got pissed off at him because he said by car to him. Instead of,
smartass.
Oh, yeah, pretty much. He said the cop was really angry with me.
And then he called my ass smart for some reason. Like, what's up with that?
So then he's like, I blew into the thing and drove off. And he was like, it was still just game, and I was laughing and he was walking off giggling to himself. And he's like, two meanings.
Dude, that's an awesome stand-up bit.
So
I feel like you
funny.
could work in how you're going by car. It's hilarious.
It was so funny, dude. I was like standing there stacking shit. I was laughing to myself. I'm like, that's genius. He has no idea what he just said was such a funny comeback to this cop.
Yeah.
And apparently, and he's like, the way he was talking about this cop was fucking pissed off. Like, he was not happy.
That is hilarious.
So this old like smart ass bloke giving him shit.
Yeah.
So funny.
Damn,
what a great interaction. Like, man, just killed me. Absolutely killed me.
Damn, why did he come up to you?
I have no idea.
Why did he need to share that with the store worker?
I have no idea.
I think
but it was hilarious. I
That's
think
the
it was
real question.
he was with like a like carer as well, but it was because I'm guessing because he was a bit like slow moving around, so it was like a mobility thing. So someone was shopping with him.
Yep.
And I don't know if he like told him to tell me like it's like a joke or like he like, you know what I mean? Like you should tell like Australians if that's really funny or something.
Yeah.
But fuck me, when he told me, I was dying laughing because that's such a good like, isn't that good as?
When was the last time you got pulled over by a cop?
I think it was after work, like when I was doing night shift in Brisbane, I think, and they just pulled me over for a breath though.
The last time I got pulled over was probably, I don't even know. I don't really think I mean, touch wood, I'm going to get pulled over now just saying this out loud, but I haven't been pulled over pretty much ever.
Since I hit that guy.
Yeah, I haven't been pulled over ever since I ran that red light. No, I got pulled over once. This is like, I lost my license in the span of like 2 days.
Really?
Just 2 bad events when I was on my Ps because you only get 4 points. And so
Damn.
I ended up getting put on probation for like a year, and it was 2 events that just weren't really, they weren't really my fault. The first event, I was like 18 and I was 18 for both these events, two days apart. But I was 18 and I'm getting dropped off by my mum, me and a bunch of friends to the Valley, which is like where you go out clubbing. One of my friends is in the middle seat in the back and I'm on the side seat. We're driving on the highway and they start feeling sick and they're like, oh, I feel like I'm going to throw up. I need the window. So we're like, all right, let's swap seats. You throw up, problem solved. All right. I'll sit in the middle.
Yeah.
So we take our seatbelts off. We're exchanging seats. Like they're literally on top of me.
Yeah.
And we both look out the window and there's a motorcycle police officer staring in the window looking at us. And then he pulls us over. And because my mum was dropping us there and she was driving in the right lane, and if you're in the furthest right lane for more than 200 meters or whatever.
Not overtaking someone,
Yeah. So that's what he was pulling her over for. But he looked in the back and saw we had our seatbelts off.
Oh my God.
So she got a fine for that and we both got fines for not wearing our seatbelts.
And they took points off you.
Yeah, as if I was a driver.
What the fuck?
If I didn't have a license at all,
yeah, what would have happened?
Who takes? I guess my mum takes the points. But because I had a license, I got points taken off me.
I think your mum should just take the points anyway because it's her responsibility to make sure that everyone has their seatbelt.
Yeah. We tried to explain to this police officer, like, oh, they were going to throw up because obviously we've been drinking. Yeah. And they needed the window seat. And he was like, does she have a medical certificate?
Oh my God.
And I was like,
oh my God.
For what?
This
for
bloke was on
up?
a motorbike. This
Yeah.
cop, yeah, okay.
Motorbike cop. Yeah, tells you all you need to know.
Absolute fuckwits.
It's like you can choose to be a traffic cop. So that's why so many traffic cops are fucking dicks because they choose to be have the worst job in the
They're
world.
already fuckwits, so they choose to go down
just
path
make
of
people's
fuckwits,
days worse.
Fuck's
And he's like, yeah, does she have a medical certificate and for not having a seatbelt on? I'm like, well, she's going to throw up and that's what we were going to do. And she's like, so does she have a medical certificate? Does she have a medical condition that requires her to not have her seatbelt on? I was like, all right, this guy.
You know what it is? He has a quota. They have a quota every month they have to meet. Of like pulling people over just to justify their fucking jobs, basically.
Yeah.
So he would have been like, fuck, I'm 3 fucking fuckwits short of, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm going to pull this guy's over and give the, like, what if you were like 16 years old and didn't have a license? It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it's so dumb. Well, they would have taken off my mum probably and she would have lost her points, her license. So that happened. And then 2 days later, I just picked up my new car, which was like a Lexus, like a secondhand, like let's not get ahead of ourselves. It was a shit car.
It was bought a Mercedes.
It was a blue car with a black hood and a black boot.
It's like fucking epic.
And a black roof. And when I asked the guy when I was buying it off him, this weird fucking old man, I opened up the back seat, like the boot when I was buying it off him, tissues everywhere in the car. It was fucking disgusting. And he had like radio equipment in the back.
Oh my
This
God.
guy was a tinfoil guy.
Yeah.
And I was like, why did you paint the hood black and the boot black? And he's like, oh, well, you see the radio that when you're driving and you're going fast, the speedo can't detect the frequencies of black, and so if you have a black boot and a black bonnet, the bloody radar guns can't pick you up and you don't get fined.
That's some bullshit.
And I was like, that's so not.
True.
You're a crazy person.
Well, so black cars don't get fines when they drive fast?
You're asking too many questions, man.
That doesn't make
Too
any
many
sense.
questions. Yeah, I was
Mythbusters would do a bloody thing on that.
so dumb. So I was driving this car that looked pretty sketchy.
Yeah.
And I had to turn. I was driving to this job site, and I had to do something beforehand. So the rest of the people I was working with were already there. It was at this like tennis court, and I go to turn into the tennis court because Google Maps tells me I can turn in.
Right.
My fault a little bit. There were no cars, but it was a double white line that I crossed to turn into this fucking place. As I'm turning in, I like look up and I see there's a cop car just parked right there, and the guy's just staring at me. And I pull up in the car park. This guy, I'm not even kidding. This guy fucking drifts into like full fucking like drifts into the fucking car park, and he's like, "Stop right there!" And I was like, "Oh my God, like what?" And he's like, "Did you see what you did there?" And I was like, "No, what are you talking about?" And he's like, "You just crossed those double whites. That's illegal." And I was like, "Oh, really?" He's like, "Why are you here?" And I was like, "I'm working like right here. I've got like my
Full
high vis on.
Yeah.
There's a guy in a fucking scissor lift, like fixing a light, like literally 20 meters from me. I'm like, I'm working with those guys. Like I gotta go over there." And he didn't believe me. And he was looking at my car and he's like, yeah, mate, I'm gonna have to give you a fine today. I was like, dude, please no. I literally got a fine 2 days ago.
Yeah.
And he fined me and I had to go on probation.
Fucking hell.
Absolutely brutal. Both times getting done for not even driving.
Yeah, that's dumb.
Second time turning in, fair enough.
I guess it's I guess it's your fault. Like, fuck.
But like,
man,
dude,
there's no cars around. Just relax.
let me in. Let me off with I'm 18.
Yeah,
I got my
exactly.
P's. Just be like, hey, dude, just next time so you know.
Exactly right.
And
city cops, man, that wouldn't happen in the country.
Yeah,
They wouldn't give a fuck.
it's fucked up, man.
Have you had any customers come into like, I guess you don't really, but like when you worked at, what do you call it? Like that reject shop, what have you worked at? Or any weird customers? I feel like that'd be weird customer central, wouldn't it?
Yeah, there were heaps of. I just worked with like the managers and stuff were just weird.
Yeah, okay.
I remember this one time, probably like I lose sleep over this interaction because it was just so awkward.
Yeah, okay.
I was like 13 when I started working at this reject shop, and I'm talking to the manager. She's probably like 21, 22.
Right.
She was like, "Oh, what do you want to do when you grow up?" Blah blah blah. And I was like, "Oh, I don't know, archaeologist." I think I said.
Right.
"Oh, what about you? What do you want to do like after this?" And she's like, "This." I'm just going to be here. And I was like,
Cool.
oh, you didn't want to, like, you don't want to do anything else? And she's like, I wanted to be a vet, like a vet nurse or something. And I was like, oh, when are you going to do that? And she's like, no, I work here. And I felt so bad because I thought this was like a halfway job for her being the manager of a reject shop. Turns out she's still there.
Yeah.
I went in there probably like a year ago and she's still there. So she's been there like 10 years.
There is honor in doing the same job for a long time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Someone has to do it.
Yeah.
And, you know, she was really
she's
nice.
content with it and she likes it, fair enough. But I know what you mean. Like you just have this conversation, like she's young. Oh, so what are you on? And then they're like this. Yeah, that's awkward.
Yeah. And then I had a manager as well there, this absolute mole of a woman. I didn't know where anything was in this fucking store because it's the reject shop.
Yeah, shit everywhere.
They sell the most random stuff. You'll be in the fucking, my job was to go through all the aisles, grab the shit that wasn't supposed to be in that aisle and put it in a different aisle, like where it's supposed to be. Yeah. And I'd be walking through the fucking stationery aisle and I'd be like, a pot? What? When did we start selling pots?
Yeah.
What the fuck? Yeah. And then you like look under there and you're like a starfish ornament for like a bathroom. You're like, what the fuck? Scented candles, bouncy balls.
And then like, where do they go together? You know, like, is it bouncy ball in the stationery aisle or is it with all the toys?
Dude,
you know
most insane like job ever.
Yeah,
And
that's crazy.
And I would like obviously ask people that have been working there for longer.
Yeah.
And I remember this one time asking this manager who was talking to another like lady that works there. And I was like, hey, excuse me, sorry, I don't know where this is. Do you know what aisle this is? And she full on like eye rolls like, ugh, like this. And like, why don't you go around the store and figure it out yourself? And I was like,
or
okay.
You can just fucking tell me so then I know for next time.
Yeah. Oh, she was the
Fuck
worst.
that
She was such
shit.
a horrible man. Anyway, the way I quit was by just not showing up.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. It was such a terrible place to work.
My very first job, I did one shift.
Yeah.
I didn't have a job through high school at all. I was like, fuck it. I was the youngest. I got spoiled like a little shit. I fully understand.
Still spoiled.
I was talking to my brother about it the other day. Oh, he was like, how did you get through high school and not have a job? Like me and my sister had a job. Like, well, how did you do it? And I was like, you know, youngest. Like just younger. Like I didn't need any money. He's like, yeah, but you need money. And I was like, I just didn't see the point in working after school. I wanted to go home and play video games. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Absolutely spoiled shit. Like mum, like when I was 18, one of my mates had a job. So just like he bought me everything and mum would buy me like 6 beers or whatever when I was 16, 17 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
With a note. Did you ever have to do that? Did you ever have to get a note? We used to like, if someone was 18 and you were 17, your parents would write you a note saying you could drink and they'd give you like the beers that you bought. Did you ever do that?
No. In Brisbane, we graduated at 17, not 18.
Yeah, see, we were 18 when we graduated. So people were turning 18 and the rest of us was 17. So obviously the 18-year-olds could drink and the 17-year-olds couldn't.
Yeah, yeah.
So, but like the 18-year-olds would just buy beer for everyone and the 17-year-olds would just drink, like, you know what I mean?
Such a like a weird system.
Yeah.
It's such a stupid
so
system.
Funny. But yeah, I didn't have to have a job. And then I did, mum was like, you just, you know, like I got this mate who works at a restaurant. Can you just dish pig for him for a night? You know what I mean? Like just see how you feel. Like you might like having a bit of money to spend.
Yeah.
Did one night, fucking hated it. They thought my name was Fish. I said, they're like, oh, what's your name? I'm like, Mitch. And they must have misheard me loud, you know, like Fish. Oh yeah, cool. Yeah. Fish. And they just called me Fish for ages. And then we went to like wash the fucking tea towels and stuff. Yeah. And they were like, oh, so like, what's your actual name? I'm like, it's Mitch. And she must have misheard me again. She was like, oh, cool. It was weird. So everyone called me Fish for the whole night. And I'm like, what the fuck's going on here? I was like, I was literally like 15, 16, so timid, so scared. Yeah. Washed these dishes till like 2 a.m. on a Friday night and was like, yeah, I'm never doing that fucking ever again.
And they still call you Fish to this day.
And they still call me Fish at that restaurant. But yeah, so I did. And then I didn't go back and they didn't pay me for the shift because I was too scared to like, so I just left. Didn't give them my details. I didn't even have a bank account at the time or anything. I just left.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was my first ever job ever, and I was like, fuck that.
It instantly scarred you and you're like, you know what, Centrelink doesn't look too bad now.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah. Being unemployed, actually pretty good.
What was your first job? Was that reject store?
The reject store. Then I worked at JB Hi-Fi over like the Christmas casual period.
Yeah.
It was a good place to work, but just customer service related jobs are just not my thing. Yeah. I also didn't get a commission off of anything I sold because I was a Christmas casual and I was 17. So I would sell like 5-6 Xboxes a day. Yeah. And the way that the salesmen at JB Hi-Fi make money, like through sales is by selling their warranties, the JB Hi-Fi warranty. Bro, I would be selling warranties left, right, and center.
Wouldn't matter though.
No money to me. I would have to put it under like the manager of the game sections.
Fuck, so he's making all this money.
Yeah. He wasn't even there half the time.
That's
anyway.
some bullshit.
Yeah. So
is that because you were 17? Because you were casual?
I was a casual.
So
I wasn't a salesman.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was cool.
That sucks.
There was some like really annoying customers. Like at Christmas, there was one customer that like, you know, I was working with another customer and trying to work out, you know, writing up their little sales invoice, whatever.
Yeah.
This customer comes up to me and he like slaps this thing on the counter and he's like, best price. Not even a high, just slaps on there and he's like, best price.
What the fuck?
And I was like, what?
This isn't
and he's like,
bet, bro. We don't fucking haggle here.
yeah. I was like, what are you talking about? And he's like, what's your best price you can do? And you can knock a couple dollars off anything at JB Hi-Fi. If you always ask, it's always worth it asking because they can do it. But how rude he was, I was like, that's the price. I'm sorry. Also, this is a fucking Christmas sale.
Yeah.
What are you, insane? It's 30% off. Buy the fucking thing.
Yeah.
God. Oh yeah, I can actually get you an extra 60 cents off.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
Just buy it.
Rude.
Yeah. This is before COVID.
Yeah.
You got money.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
this is fucking 2015, 2016.
Yeah, we ain't
like,
in a recession, bro.
yeah.
You can afford this shit.
We're living, the middle class is living large.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, uncommon commoners. They're everywhere, bro.
More common than you would think.
Yeah. Yeah. Common commoners.
The Academy!
I got something to submit to the Academy.
Oh, hit me with it. I want to learn.
The supermarket that I shop at, not the one that I work at, the one I shop at, is in a shopping center.
Yep.
You know that, like, you know those businesses that are in the middle of all the shops?
Yeah, like the little kiosk type
things. You know, they might fix your phone or they might...
Oh, Mr. Minute?
Yeah.
Mr.
You know
Minute
what I mean?
that also fixes shoes.
Yeah.
The hell? He's a cobbler?
It looks like they're run by like a family. You know what I mean? I feel like
there's lots of like iPhone cases,
repairs, all that sort of thing. My shop has like a section in the middle of it, the shopping center. It's just like real estate for like random stuff to pop up, like just for like a day.
Like, what do you
You
mean?
know what I mean? So like one of them was like a face painting, like for all these kids to do face painting around Easter. I'm like, okay, that's not that weird, right?
Yeah.
And then like photo booth the next week, and you're like, okay, that's not bad. Yoga. They're just doing a yoga class in the middle of the shopping center. I was like, what is happening? Hopscotch tournament, like the game hopscotch.
Yeah,
had a hopscotch tournament going on.
What? How do you warrant a tournament?
I have no idea.
It's not hard. It's really hopscotch is not very difficult.
These little kids are playing hopscotch. I was like, man, maybe I can sign up and win some money or something.
One of those guys with the Neuralinks got like 2 robotic legs and he's just
somebody's hacking him.
You can't stop hopscotch.
You can't stop. VR headset games and stuff. I don't think it was Meta. It was like some rip-off one, like some very good VR one. What else I got here? Jumping castle. There was like a jumping castle there.
What?
Like a little one with like a slide.
I'm still hung up on this yoga thing.
Yeah.
It's one thing walking past the yoga people when they're front facing.
Yeah.
Imagine walking past the yoga people when they're doing downward dog.
Exactly right.
And you're on the other side of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we were just thinking of going to the cafe. Oh my God.
What the hell?
Holy shit.
Oh
I thought
God.
Donut King was down there. What the hell? Oh my God.
But yeah, no, it's really weird. And then the other one that was kind of random as well, another like class, is like a what do you call it? Like CPR class, just in the middle of the
doing first aid.
Doing first aid and stuff. I'm like, what is
that? Is random.
You know what I mean? Just so many random things. Like, and they're just up for a day, and there seems to be a lot of people that really enjoy it.
Yeah,
super random. At the moment, it's just vacant, so I'm keen to see what the next one is. We might need to maybe do a Wizards podcast there.
Yeah,
just like do a podcast.
It seems like a space, like a rented space. It must be pretty cheap.
So random. So random. They haven't put a shop there. It's just this empty space, and they're just like waiting for people to do yoga there.
Should start placing bets on what's going to be there next.
Yeah, honestly.
Archery
in the shopping center. Oh my God. I don't know.
Pickup artists.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Pickpocketing class.
Be cool.
Pickup artists.
What did you think?
I don't know. I thought
do you say that to me a lot?
I thought you meant that.
Do you say, "Oh, that'd be cool," a lot? Because I say a lot of things to you, and you say, "Oh, that'd be cool" to me,
and just not actually realize what it is.
Yeah.
I thought you meant like pickpocketing.
Oh,
Yeah.
That would
but you
be
meant
cool.
pick up art. Yeah, see, that would be cool.
yeah, okay.
Yeah, but you meant pick up
Yeah,
artists.
pickpocketing the hearts of
Oh,
of
okay. Yeah.
strangers. You're like, oh hell yeah, I'm gonna learn to talk to women. The class is like, here is a coin, and then they like flick it up, and then they drop it on the ground. They go, now to pick it up, you must bend at the knees, keep the back straight.
You're like,
Oh my God. He's such an artist. The way he picks that up, I mean, no one else can do it like him.
Feel free to throw a little flourish in as you go down and
Does a
pick it up.
backflip.
Yeah.
Somersault, like Willy Wonka. He walks,
he goes,
takes one step
rolls
forward, then
into it,
rolls.
rolls into the pickup.
Yeah,
Damn, that's not bad.
that is art right there.
That is art. Yeah, I don't know. It's a weird shopping center for sure. It's a weird shopping center.
Yeah, that is weird. Why do you shop in a shopping center?
I don't know. Where do you shop?
Just like a
It's a
standalone
one.
shop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like good parking. It's like really easy to get to. Maybe that's why. I do it.
I saw a TikTok of an American talking about Australia the other day, and they're like, "It's so weird. Everyone does everything in like a shopping center, or they call it like a mall.
A mall. Yeah.
They're like, oh, if you want to get groceries, you got to go to the mall to go shopping." And I was like,
Not necessarily, but yeah.
"Do you have Google?
Yeah.
You know, you can just Google like Woolworths.
Yeah,
and
and
there's
find it there.
standalone. They're more common than there is one in the shop. There's always one in the shops.
Yeah, yeah.
But they're also just standalone.
Yeah, it's dumb. I always thought it was really funny when it was like ages ago, like the AFL was on,
Yeah.
like at the MCG or whatever. And the Americans looking at it like, where's all the car parks? Like, what's going on here? They're like, because you look at
Oh,
the Staples
yeah.
Center in America, there's just a fucking ocean of car parks all around it because they have no public transport, like
Yeah.
good public transport.
The car parks are bigger than
Yeah,
the stadium.
in the actual
itself.
stadium. So they've
Yeah.
got all this real estate that could be fucking more basketball stadiums or more stadiums in general, but they've got no public transport to get there, so everyone fucking has to drive.
Yeah, and they were looking at the Melbourne MCG, and they
Yeah.
were like, how
Where
did
do they
people even
park?
get here?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's really funny. But then also it's a bit of a cultural thing in America too. Like I think it's like at NFL games more, or even baseball games. I don't really see it at basketball games. Maybe you do. But called like tailgating, where they like will pull up in a fucking ute or whatever, and then they'll have like a barbecue on the back of the ute, and they'll
Dude,
cook up a
I've
big
seen
feed.
that all the time in
Yeah,
movies.
yeah. They'll cook
That
up a
makes so
huge
much
feed.
sense.
So it's
Yeah.
a bit of a cultural thing as well. Like, I guess the game early, we'll find a spot at the car park,
And
eat some
stuff.
food out there because we want to get a good spot.
Yeah, yeah.
And then they'll tailgate by bringing a heap of yeah. So it's a bit of a cultural thing
Damn,
as well.
in
but
Australia,
also I'm like,
tailgating's a very different thing.
yeah, yeah,
And,
you get fucking hit in the head for tailgating.
yeah. Yeah. If someone slams the brakes on you,
yeah,
you
yeah.
should, yeah.
Yeah, so it's interesting. It's interesting. But I'm like, why would you? I don't know. I guess because there wasn't that many cars. They didn't have that forward thinking.
Yeah.
And they're a bit of an older city. Like, we were able to
Mitch, it's America.
True, it's
Not a
much
lot
fun.
makes sense in America.
That's a good point. They got these missiles now that don't make any noise, but they have blades on them. They fire them, and these blades come out. And they don't
Holy
make any
shit.
noise. They're quiet, and they like fly along with these blades, and then just slice through houses.
Really?
Yeah, it's fucked. I was watching.
How
a
did
video
they?
talk about
How
it.
did they get blade into
Yeah.
a missile?
Yeah, blade.
They got these blade missiles. They shoot a daywalker. Shoot.
Yeah, it's so crazy. They like slice through these houses, and they don't make any noise or anything. You'd be sitting in your room, you know, being a terrorist, and then slice.
Being a
killed.
terrorist, or just an innocent
Or
person
just an innocent
most of the
person.
time.
Yeah, that's probably a good point too.
Damn.
But then like, yeah, they'll like, you have to like type in like, you want him like, oh, he's driving the car, and you type in the coordinates of him driving the car, and it just slices him up.
what the
Yeah,
fuck?
makes no noise.
Why are people reinventing the wheel here?
I know, just blow 'em
What's
up.
wrong with a bomb?
Yeah, whatever happened to blowing someone up?
Yeah.
What happened to the nuke, man?
Yeah.
You don't see the nuke anymore.
Bring the nuke back.
I miss
yeah.
the nuke.
Why are they reinventing ways to blow people up? They're like, this
Yeah.
missile blows people up bigger. And
Yeah,
you're
this
like,
one, yeah.
really?
This one blows them up, but doesn't make any noise.
And you're like, oh,
This one implodes them.
this one doesn't blow them up. You're like, huh?
What?
Until you decide to blow them up.
6 days later.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
This one
but
gives them Hep C. What? With
this one
that
gives
doesn't
them COVID.
that one doesn't even kill them. And they're
This
like,
new thing we invented gives everyone COVID-19. We made it in a lab. And
oh my God, we're turning into a tinfoil
Yeah,
fucking
fucking
podcast.
this one turns them left leaning. This one turns them right. It's called Twitter.
Oh, speaking of Twitter, there was a period of time where I was using Twitter and it was blissful. You know,
Really?
it It was like the birds were chirping. I was sitting on a hill overlooking the sunset. Things were good. It was mainly just kind of like a little bit of YouTube drama, whatever. And I don't know what happened, but for some reason, every time I open Twitter now, every single post is just naked people.
Yeah.
And I cannot change it. I've hit not interested in hundreds of naked people. And they keep coming up. The same creators come up, different creators. And I'm like,
blocking,
what the fuck happened? I was enjoying, it was perfectly normal.
Yeah,
and then all of a sudden it's just like flick the switch.
I'm scared to open Instagram on a train now because it could just be someone just shaking their ass.
That is exactly what happened to me on the train the other day. I opened Twitter, instant boob. And I was like, oh, come on. Like, can they at least put a switch like safe mode where it's just text?
So obviously it must know, I think I was talking about this before, but like it must know that you're a straight white male. It must know that just from, knowing, like scanning your profile or whatever. So do women get like
it's like we keep putting boobs on his his
but he
page,
keeps rejecting them.
And he keeps looking at them for 1.2 seconds. The time it takes for me to not interested.
Yeah. You know what I mean? So are women getting like, men?
I don't know.
Cocks? Are they getting dicks in their face?
I feel like they're just getting more boobs. I
reckon
feel like
they get
it's
more
just,
boobs.
I think it's just the same. I think it's the same across the whole platform.
It's not good. It's not good.
I don't ever want to see that. I don't follow anyone like that on Instagram.
That's the worst thing as well.
All I do is follow friends on Instagram, follow
meme pages on Instagram will post it. And it's like, fuck me. You guys were posting good memes and now I've got tits on my screen. Like, I'm gonna unfollow you.
It's fucking lame, dude.
It sucks.
Well, that's all the time we have at the Wizard's Tower today. Pick up your staff and pick up your hat and time to leave. I sound like play school or something like that.
Goodbye.
Farewell.
It's like a bear in the big blue house.
Yeah.
I'll put down the drawbridge for you.
Yeah. The trolls seem to be pretty content living under the second bridge that we appeared.
we built over the top of them.
Yeah, so you shouldn't have any trouble leaving.
All right.
Well,
see you
later. Listen to the next pod. Or the one before.
Or the one after.
Or the one between those.
Oh, the secret pod.
Yes.
Episode 8 3/4.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.